Hi, a very good morning to one and all, and a warm welcome to all our viewers who have joined this program. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Skepta, and I'm your host, Dr. Mani Iyer. Before we start, I request all of you to please subscribe to our channel, Skepta, and also view and like this video podcast as well as share it with all your right friends, relatives, and colleagues. This will go in a long way in supporting our channel and help us to produce many more such programs, interesting programs, and video podcast. So, all right, then, let's begin. So, why do humans crave connection so much? And why does the same craving makes us easy to deceive? What if the very thing that makes us human is also what makes us vulnerable? Our deep desire to be seen, understood, and loved has built families, friendships, and entire civilizations. Yet that same longing can cloud our judgment, making it easier for others to exploit our trust. To understand why people fall for deception, from subtle manipulation to elaborate catfishing, for all that, we have to understand why the human brain is wired to seek connection in the first place. So, in order to discuss this, we are joined by Ms. Krina Mehta, a renowned psychologist and counseling therapist, and you know, she has also worked in various hospitals like the Masina Hospital in Mumbai, the Nightingale Medical Trust and Dementia Center in Bangalore, and Somaya Ayur Vihar Hospital in Mumbai, as well as the Good Shepherd School in Bangalore. She has done her junior college from Metiboy College in Mumbai. She has done her BA honors in liberal arts from the prestigious Narsim Monji Institute of Management Studies, the school attached to NMIMS, JD School of Liberal Arts. She has done her MSc in clinical psychology from Christ University, Bangalore, and she is currently doing her PhD, and she is a PhD scholar from Amity University, Mumbai. She is also accredited. Her achievements include accredited certification course in forensic psychology from the International Association of Therapists in 2025. And in other certifications, she was also a guest speaker for CBT, that is cognitive behavioral therapy, in couples therapy workshop. And she's also licensed to perform the Montreal Cognitive Assessment Test from the MoCA Clinic and Institute in 2025. She has also presented a paper in the Indian Association of Clinical Psychologists in 2024, and she has also published a paper in the International Journal of Indian Psychology and on the topic impact of specific movie genres on aggression patterns and risky behaviors in young adults in 2024. So with this, I welcome Ms. Krina Mehta to this program. Krina ji, very warm welcome on our show on our show Skepta. So, as I was earlier saying, why do humans long for belongingness, connections, attachment, and love? And why do they crave for connection so much? And why does that same craving make us easy to deceive? Over to you, Preenaji.
First of all, thank you so much, Dr. Mani, for inviting me here. It's an honor. The topic for today is attachment and why it happens. You have asked that. So, I believe that humans not only want company, but they also want to feel secure and love. And sometimes they want to show that vulnerable side to someone else. So when we look at it from a psychological point of view, so there is a thing called as attachment theory. So this theory basically describes a built-in system that pushes us towards uh, closeness when we are afraid or when we are uncertain, lonely. And this also suggests that whatever our early relationships are with our caregivers and how they shape our relationships in our adulthood. So it's a very innate thing for humans to crave for that closeness and security from someone around. So I think that is the reason why, even though we innate thing to attach to someone.
Okay, so you're saying that, relationships formed early with parents and caregivers tend to be very strong. Why is that so, Ms. Krinaji?
So it's not just that the relationships that we make in childhood are stronger than the ones we make in adulthood. It's not like that. It's just when I said that, I meant that the bonds that we made when we were children are responsive and are more reliable to us as human beings who think that. So when we grow up, people tend to develop more secure expectations about themselves and about others if their childhood relationships are secure, are reliable, and but if they don't get that in their childhood, in adulthood, they can show signs of inconsistency or they can be more fearful or anxious when they go out to make new relationships. So it's not like that childhood relationships are the strongest ones, but they help you understand and shape your relationships in your adulthood.
Okay, yeah, it's all about relationships, and these relationships revolve around connections. And I would like to ask, why are connections so important?
Uh, I felt connection is a very powerful thing. And when we talk about connection, the first thing we think about is a romantic relationship, but any form of connection. It can be with friends or siblings or with your partner. It is very important because it helps us regulate our emotions. And then sometimes when we are very overwhelmed with everything going outside, some secure relationships help us reduce our stress. And it also helps us feel seen and feel protected. And that's why it is very important for us to feel that need to connect with someone. And I think we all must have heard someone saying that someone passed away or after left their life to go somewhere else or be with someone else, we have heard people saying that it hurts me physically, मुझे दर्द हो रहा है यहाँ पर. It's because that relationship gave you such secure base and security that when that person leaves you, that connection breaks, sometimes you feel a physical pain. And that's why sometimes it can also distort your judgment for a given amount of time when it's very new. So I feel it can have both positive and negative impact. And but either way, connection is very important for us.
Oh, thank you very much, Krinaji. So we'll now talk about, you talked about connections. So this leads to attachment. And I would like to ask, what is attachment really? And how do you describe it?
Uh, so when we think of attachment, I think I have heard this a lot of times. People that, oh, you are very clingy or you are very dependent, and that's why you are attached. But we need to understand one thing, especially from a psychological point of view, if we're talking about it, that attachment is a system that uh, that governs how we ask for comfort, how we handle losses, or how we handle separation. So it's not just being clingy or dependent on someone. It also decides the basis of how you're going to make you are gonna make relationships in future, how you trust someone, or how you are gonna react to relationships in future. So it's we see that in childhood, when there is a child, if they are seeking for attachment, it will be generally through hugging to their parents or hugging to the primary caregiver. But sometimes they even cry, or they throw tantrums to feel that attachment, to feel that attention. But when we grow older, all this shifts from typical crying or showing tantrums or reaching out or hugging someone. This or calling someone, texting them. And it's not always positive. Sometimes we show attachment in a very darker or negative side as well, like jealousy or just shutting ourselves down. So, this is also one side of attachment that happens.
So we seem to say, I mean, from what you're saying, we understand that there are different kinds of attachments, and not all the attachments are same. Some are
Mhm.
positive and some are negative, and there could be other type of attachment as well. So what are the different types of attachment?
Uh, so if we talk about types of attachment, and so according to the attachment theory, only if I take my context from there, so there are four major types of attachment that is found in place. First one is the secure attachment. So in this type of person with secure attachment, they know that they can depend on someone and they are worthy of care. They don't doubt that one. But at the same time, there will be some person who would be like, what if I lose this relationship? Social or romantic, it doesn't matter. The person would always, there are some people who would think that, what if I lose this relationship? Or I need constant reassurance because I think you will leave me. I think you will just abandon me. So this can be considered as a person who has anxious form of attachment. So these are the two major ones. But apart from that, there are two others. So one is called as avoidant attachment. So in this kind of a relationship, in this kind of attachment style, a person is would want, but they would also be like that. I can't rely, or I can't depend on you emotionally. They will avoid that emotional connection for a very long time, or for their entire life. But then there is this one form of attachment style which is a mix of everything, and it can be like a fearful avoidant attachment. So in this, a person would say that, oh, I need that emotional connect with you, I need to feel that closeness to you, I crave that. But it also scares me that what if you will just leave. So I want that, but at the back of my mind, it's like, what if everything goes wrong? So there is a fearful avoidant kind of a push and pull, where the fear makes you go to them, but avoidant part makes you pull back. That, oh, maybe I shouldn't depend so much. But when we talk about these attachment styles, we need to understand that they are not like life sentences. These are just how people get influenced, and how they interpret different things in their lives and relationships. Like every person can interpret their silence or delays, or maybe that ambiguity differently based on their attachment style. So it is something not you can go by like it's written in the stone, but these are the main styles that is commonly understood and observed.
Okay, so all these attachments we are talking about, everything revolve around what you may call love, attachments, and relationships. And talking about attachment itself, why humans are attached so strongly?
That is a very good and valid question, actually. So I believe that attachment has existed. Like I would like to understand that in two parts. So one is an evolutionary perspective. So according to the evolutionary perspective, it is believed that uh, when we were cave people, that time for survival, we used to depend on each other. For survival, that proximity, that closeness mattered a lot. But as times evolved, we don't have that basic survival uh, instinct in the traditional sense that cavemen did. But if we talk it from a psychological perspective, when we were kids, we depended on someone who is in our close proximity, and we see them as our protective figures. And in most of the cases, these were parents or sometimes even elder siblings. But it was generally the caregiver. So over time, this survival thing became more psychological in nature, and as we grew older from childhood to adulthood, uh, our uh, our need for physical closeness became more of an emotional closeness. So we started feeling the need to belong someone, to trust someone, to rely on someone emotionally. So I feel because of that, because of emotion, like evolutionary thing and psychological thing, uh, it is research has shown us over and over that belonging shows that humans are highly sensitive to signs, and it is like humans need this highly. And there was also one research which showed that more than positive, we have the instinct to look for the negative things more. So even if we feel that threat is emerging, even if we feel that, oh, there is some sign over here, or that person doesn't like, our need just pushes up. It just floods out, saying that, oh, I need a healthy, strong attachment and a secure one. And that's why, from all perspectives, for a very long time, humans have always found attachment strong.
Okay, ma'am. So we have talked about love, belongingness, and attachment. But there is also a fourth component, which is vulnerability. How does vulnerability work in this context?
In context to, if we are purely talking about relationships, then I believe that vulnerability is often misunderstood. Like people think that being vulnerable is being weak. But vulnerability is not associated with being weak. Rather, vulnerability can be understood as being, or rather, a willingness to be open, open to someone else, and without having full control of the outcome. So, whenever we get vulnerable to someone, we always have that teeny tiny voice in the back of our head saying that what if they reject me, what if they betray me, what if I feel bad after telling this to them, what if they will think different about. So all these thoughts comes with vulnerability. So people have associated vulnerability as a whole to weakness. But it's not weakness, it is rather how willing you are to open, even though you know that there can be a negative effect as well. So it's more of an visibility, being visible to others rather than a weakness.
Okay. So we talked about that, and now we would like to expressing some of our emotional aspects. There are some vulnerabilities which we see online, and because of which I think we could also, there is a term which has come up, which is called catfishing. So, can you just explain this this part, this particularly this catfishing, and how vulnerability is, utilize or you get used there?
Okay. So if we are talking about catfishing, just to understand, to give a context, what exactly catfishing is, we can understand catfishing as a malpractice of creating a fake online identity. So this identity generally goes around on social media and in recent times highly around um, dating apps. So this is generally done for romance or emotional manipulation and sometimes even financial frauds. Like these are the common reasons why catfishing works or why catfishing is done. So I think the second part of the question was how vulnerability is like how is catfishing attached to vulnerability and how does that work? So, well, I believe that catfishing works because it directly attacks an individual's need to feel that attachment, that closeness. So many people say that, oh, but didn't you get the signs? Weren't you aware? But it's not just about the awareness part of it. There is a whole illusion that has been created that targets a person who is particularly emotionally weak at that point of time. And by weak emotionally, I mean distressed. It can be the need to belong, it can be need to feel chosen. And it is because of that, because of this thing, catfishing becomes very common. Yeah, I mean, that is the reason.
Okay, so the catfishing is very common, and there are victims, and there are perpetrators, and there are, and they do it in a specific under certain circumstances. So, I think we should profile this and see, what is the psychology of a victim and what is the psychology of the perpetrator in utilizing that, and under what circumstances. So, could you explain that?
That is actually a very interesting thing to talk about, I believe. Because, as I said, that people always ask the victim that, oh, weren't there signs? Oh, weren't there something like, didn't you see that coming? But what the victim might go through is that the whole thing is so believable that no one questions. people try to rationalize the warning signs also sometimes. So it becomes more likely for a person who is lonely or grieving, or at times is isolated. Today on social media or any platform, because of our digital footprints, we can easily find out that if we are grieving someone or if we are lonely, or people attack and target that sort of insecurity. And because those states increase the appeal for rapid intimacy, and because of that state, people generally ignore all the warning signs. They just look past them. So, attachment insecurity can also intensify the urge to hold on to excuses or inconsistencies. So, because of that, because the need to feel chosen, the need to feel special, or the need to feel safe takes over so much that everyone is ready to look past those warning signs. People don't see them until it's too late.
Yeah, that is about the victim psychology. But what
Mhm.
about the psychology of the perpetrator or the catfish?
So I think there are
Perpetrators of
several
catfishing are typically driven by a
reasons.
mix of psychological vulnerabilities and strategic motives. Low
Well,
self-esteem and escapism.
I'm
Many
sorry,
suffer
something
from
is come up.
severe insecurity.
right.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
What goes into the mind of someone who is catfishing? So I think there are a lot of reasons. I can point out a few over here. So one being that uh, sometimes it is purely in sense of exploiting someone. Now this exploitation can be in any sense. It can be financial fraud, it can be sexual exploitation, or physical harm or physical exploitation. So when I say that on social media and dating sites, the financial fraud and sexual exploitation is has increased a lot in recent times. People pose as someone else and then they try to exploit you. So that is a very darker side of catfishing. But when we look at catfishing, there are other reasons as well. So a person, a catfisher themselves can be a victim at some point of time. Now, when I say this, do I support catfishing? No, not at all. That is completely wrong. But there was this one case where the catfisher was being caught, and they were asked that what was their. So the reason that that person gave was that he never felt belonged in his friends group. He never felt that he belongs here, and he thought that he would never be able to settle down or be in a romantic relationship. So at that point, what he thought was the most apt was to create an ulterior identity just to gain that control of his life, to be with someone. So for that reason also, there is something, it's a mix of the need to feel emotionally close to someone plus to have that control. So there are these two are seen to be one of the main reasons why catfishing happens a lot. But more than enough, unfortunately, the first reason, the predatory one in nature, is currently seen more in today's times.
Thank you, ma'am. So we understand this is something which can, completely scar the victim's life itself. So,
Mhm.
in order to prevent this from happening and to escape from such catfishers, is it possible to identify how we can identify them in terms of what red flags should we watch for, and what kind of defensive things which can you can take so as to escape from these guys, catfishers.
Uh, right. So if you're looking, right, right. So if you're at catfishing and online catfishing in its pure sense, then the certain red flags or the warning signs that we can look out for is that more than often when the person is faking his identity online, it's that they will always have this fast emotional escalation. So what I mean by fast emotional escalation is that all of a sudden, within 1 week of talking, they will show you immense love, immense flattery words, and they will like go after you. And all of a sudden, they will fill you with love and lovey-dovey things. But after few times, they will like after few hours also sometimes the whole nature of the conversation flips. It's a blink, and within a day this can happen. Like in the morning, that person, the catfish, is being very lovey-dovey towards you, but by the end, it's always getting triggered by small things where you feel that it wasn't your uh, mistake. So that there is no stability in the conversations itself. There is always a very huge gap between being too nice and then being very cool. So this is something that happens a lot. Then the second thing that we can look out for in catfish is that there will be some sorts of inconsistency. Inconsistency in terms of their personal details. It can be inconsistency in terms of the stories they tell you about themselves. Like sometimes they will have a sister, then sometimes that sister turns into a brother, and they don't know how to cover up. So that is something that you need to look out for, because more than enough, we have that tendency to think that, oh, it would be a slip of tongue, or I would have heard it wrong. But this, if this repeats, yeah, of course there are some genuine cases where it slips someone's mind, whatever. But if it this pattern is repeated, then there is something that you have to look out for. Then one major thing is that they will always, almost always, try to avoid um, video calls or meeting you in person. Even if you are living in the same city and you suggest them to meet you, more than they would always come out with some or the other excuse. Again, if this is repeatedly, then there is something
Hello?
that we need to look out for.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'll just call you back. I'm on a meeting. Okay. Thank you. Sure, sure, sure. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry for that. So we were talking about the what do you call? Now there are the qualities about a genuine person, and the qualities of catfisher, and how there can be some inconsistencies in a story, and he doesn't want to meet you. Maybe generally they may not want to meet you, or come on a video call, or come on unscheduled calls. So, and they do also, they may ask for payments and other things. And
yeah,
so,
so that is
so,
also very high thing that there will be like a sudden request for favors or money, or suddenly they want some rescuing. And again, we need to look out for them if they are repeated and constant. Because, okay, we can give them a benefit of doubt that yes, so once it can happen with everyone, but it happens on constant basis, then yes, we definitely have to look out for them. And I
So,
think more than that, they also, what they do is they isolate the target. What they do is that, oh, I am there for you, right? So you don't need anyone else. So that makes it more easy. So I think these are something that we have to look out for. Again, if that happens repeatedly.
yeah. You have given us a good idea about how to look out for the red flags and all that. So, but what happens is sometimes, it is difficult to to see, to actually discern who is a genuine person and who is not. I mean, it is a matter of interpretation. It's a matter of personal opinion and sometimes a perspective. So, so what do you think? How do you differentiate? I mean, between who is genuine and who is not genuine.
So, of course, there are a lot of things, but if we just have to talk about the signs, like a few signs that can help us, is that one thing is that if a person is not genuine, their emotions, there will be like a lot of talks, and the intensity will be very high initially. But if the person is genuine, even the intensity is high, it will be there will be a sense of consistency. The efforts will be continuous. The closeness will be continuous. There won't be a sudden shift in the mood of a person. So that is something that we need to see that if the person is consistent or not. The second thing is that they will, and this goes for real world relationship, like offline relationships as well, is that respecting the boundaries and their independence. So when I say boundaries and independence, I don't mean that you have to be like you have to like hide something from your partner or not. That is like your own view on that, but it's like when it comes to the career choices you make, or when there is some other things that you want to do for yourself, your partner understands. The partner understands that need to be independent, and even if there is something that both of you don't agree on, there is you, instead of giving cold shoulder or punishing you for having a different idea or a boundary, they always try to have a conversation with you, and you get on a middle ground with that. So that is something that we can look out for. So there are like small things which matter a lot in long-term relationships, online or real world offline ones. So most of them is this, that they respect your boundaries, they respect your independence. If there is something that's bothering you, instead of this idea of punishing you, they would come to you and talk to you about that. So this shows that the person is genuine. Their efforts are continuous. So that is something that makes you realize that yes, this is a genuine, healthy connection rather than some high on passion relationship, which might not be good for both of the parties in long run.
Okay, so so definitely what you said makes sense, and we can always look for the genuineness from the way they behave and the way they talk and the way they act with you. So, I mean, is it possible to give an example of this? Do you think?
Uh, yeah, I can try. So when someone gets attached to another person, the first thing, or gets vulnerable with another person, the first thing that person thinks is that, uh, can I count on you? Can I be myself around you? And these are the things that comes up, especially when someone is in a romantic relationship. So when someone who is genuine, if you will, that person would, he or she would say that, Yes, you can. See, these are the things I can show you how you can trust on it. And we can slowly take it ahead. You don't have to just give into it or crave into it, right? But if someone is just trying to manipulate you or is wrong, uh, their ideology would always be like, I am there for you, right? You just have to trust me. I'm telling you. So it's like, just trust me and that's it. You don't trust. So that is something that differs a lot when you are in a healthy relationship and when the relationship is not so healthy.
Right. So, that's why they say maybe trust but verify. And right. And okay. So we've got a fair idea, about all these things, about the entire topic, as well as, attachment, belongingness, vulnerability, love, lies, and, vulnerability, and utilized in catfishing and all that. So we've had a little long talk, so maybe you would like to conclude. I mean, how do you think you can conclude this?
Um, I believe that when we talk about all this, there can always be something else to talk about. Uh, but if I have to conclude or give viewers something to take away, I would say that it's not like because of all this you stop trusting someone. You trust someone, okay? Trust them, but with time and with evidence. Don't give a blind side or just don't ignore it. And always do it with self-respect because one of the catfishing victims, there was this interview, uh, they said that only that I could feel something, I could sense something wrong in my gut, but I chose to ignore it. So this feeling wrong in the gut, always listen to that, uh, and talk to someone about it. If you feel that something is off, talk to someone about it. Talk to someone you trust about it. It's not like that online dating is entirely wrong, or every person who is dating online is a catfish. It's not at all like that. But always be careful because it is good to be careful than to be sorry, right? And to always trust yourself and to not ignore the warning signs. If you feel something is wrong, then it might be wrong. So take your time, take a look at the things that are really happening, and if you feel that you need to talk to someone, just do it instead of saying that what if I am wrong. Just go and talk to them. Human instincts are very high, and I think we should listen to them sometimes.
Definitely. So we have to be very sensitive to what our instincts, and because follow our instincts rather than ignore our instincts. Many times we ignore our instincts, and that's why we get into trouble. So, yeah, Krina Mehta ji, it's been nice talking to you, and also you have given us a great talk on this in this very, the subject of love, lies, vulnerability, belongingness, attachment, and catfishing. We have covered a lot of ground on the entire thing. So you
Then,
have covered the
then,
maximum, most of the ground that one could think of. You know,
yeah, I
so.
tried to.
Right. So I really appreciate it. Was a great talking to you. It was a great talk from you
Yes,
and very awesome kind of a talk. And
thank
so I really appreciate the same. And we all, our viewers, enjoyed the session. And so we would look forward to to many more such sessions, and you would keep coming back to our channel maybe on a regular basis, or as and when it's convenient for you. So with that, I would like to close this particular podcast and video. So thank you very much, Krina ji. I mean, you
Thank
have
you.
taken time off from your very busy schedule and your research work, and have come here to talk to us, on a working day, and have spent more than an hour or so. So we really appreciate this, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you very much, Krina ji. Have a
Thank you
great
so much
day.
for inviting me.
Yeah,
Yes.
have a
Thank
great
you.
afternoon and a great day, and we are looking forward to the same.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Take care, ma'am. Bye. We'll see you soon. Thank you.